Hello and welcome. My name is Yasmin, and this is my presentation on what's cool. One of the topics that I will be discussing is the psychedelic design. I decided to go with the psychedelic design because it just caught my interest and I thought it was a really cool design to talk about. And what psychedelic design is exactly is that psychedelic design is an experience that immerses you, stimulates the senses, and leaves you with something to remember. Some characteristics of psychedelic design include fantasy imagery, spiral patterns, ultra bright color, extremely intricate detail, and groovy typography. It's an art style influenced by the prevalence of hallucinatory drugs like LSD, with typical designs featuring abstract swirls of intense color, with Colvinier calligraphy reminiscent of Art Nouveau. Art Nouveau was the new art movement. The term psychedelia refers to the psychedelic subculture of years past, while the term psychedelic is more of to experiencing an altered state of consciousness. And a little bit of the history and background of psychedelic design. Well, it all began in the mid 1960s, also known as the hippie movement, which had a huge influence on music, visual art, and popular culture. This included fashion, language, and the way people spoke art, literature, and philosophy. The visual motifs of psychedelic art include Art Nouveau inspired colvin shapes and intense optical color vibration inspired by the pop art movement. The name psychedelic refers to drugs that were popular with the youth culture. Posters for rock concerts try to visually express the feeling of tripping out. At the end of World War II in 1945, brought about a post-war economic boom in the U.S. It also brought about an enormous spike in the birth rate known as the baby boom. Between 1945 and 1957, nearly 76 million babies were born in America. By the mid-1960s, most of these kids were young adults. These baby boomers questioned America's materialism and conservative culture and political norms. During the 1960s, a youth movement emerged seeking to create a society free from discrimination. The feminist movement and the black movement were a direct result of this evolution. In the 1960s and 70s, Americans addressed many controversial issues, from civil rights, the Vietnam War, nuclear proliferation, and the environment, to drug use, sexual freedom, and nonconformity. Many youth sought spiritual experiences through Eastern mysticism and psychedelic drugs. An example of how psychedelic design was used back then were posters for rock music concerts and festivals. One artist I'd like to talk about is Wes Wilson. Wes Wilson was an American artist and one of the leading designers for psychedelic posters. He often used psychedelic design in his artwork. In particular, he was known for inventing and popularizing a psychedelic font that made the letters look like they were moving or melting. His style was heavily influenced by the Art Nouveau movement. In today's modern art and design, psychedelic design is often used in Photoshop, animations, and posters promoting advertisements and concerts. Well, there's that, and this is the end of my presentation, and I hope you guys had a nice understanding of how psychedelic design was used and how it came up about now in our modern art. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks. Bye.